Hello. Sorry
Ooh.
I was late, but what do you expect?
You had a good excuse this time.
Yeah, we had some sound issues.
You have to be able to hear Cassidy.
This is so weird now, having a mouse and not a trackpad to do all this.
Yeah, that feels really weird. I bought a desk like 3 weeks ago and
Oh wait, that's me. That's me. Hold on. Yeah, sorry.
I was just ignoring it.
I bought a desk.
That was me. I totally forgot I had it ready to go.
You probably weren't expecting a link.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, and I was early also, and I'm like, okay, so
I thought we were at 7.
Kyler, you're trying Children of Time. I like that Erin just completely canceled that. She was like, nope, we're not doing that.
Did she read it?
Nope.
Okay. Because at first I thought she was enjoying it, and then I never heard anything else. And I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't power through that just for the live show.
She didn't finish Children of Time?
Nope.
It's terrible.
Oh. She said almost no one could.
No, it sucks.
I don't understand how it got so many good reviews when it is literally like reading an instruction manual.
It is. It's
that
terrible.
dry.
So dry. Highlander Dragon Romance, you say?
I want to know more.
Yes, seriously.
What? Hey,
good buddy, read.
You don't get to get up here on top of the blanket and then have a fit about me moving the yarn. It doesn't work that way.
This is fair. I have a bunch of things I should be doing, but here I am.
Are you going to be reading, or are you going to be doing other things?
I might edit a video and then I'll like listen to the book while I edit, but I actually probably should listen to the audiobook and continue the Mother's Day blanket because I'm not even close to being done and I need that for whenever.
How's your Mother's Day blanket going though?
My Mother's Day blanket is done. It's my grandmother's Day blanket that we're trying to do right now.
If he'll let you.
No, he won't.
Yay! Actually, tomorrow's video is my booktube knowledge. Is what I'm going to call it. It's really just me rambling about everything I learned in the 2 years I did a marketing degree.
Nice.
Oh, and how I like put that towards booktube.
I like it. Mine is my 40 minutes of rambling because I read 29 books last month.
I filmed that today and I also
sucked. So I film and to edit.
Hello. But I should be starting the next Lord of the Rings books because I need to finish that this month.
Why?
I was supposed to finish it last month and none of us started it. This is great buddy reads going on here.
Yeah.
And then I should also read Leviathan Wakes, but I'm obsessed with Fires of Vengeance currently. It's so good.
I don't want to read that one. I've been avoiding it.
The thing is, I understand why I avoided it because I was reading it and I don't reread books. And I was like, I feel like I needed to reread the first book before reading this, which is not good for the next book.
Right. We don't know anything about it other than a title, right?
This camera. Yeah, we know nothing about it. Well, I know his father passed away. Like that's like he has a beginning of Fires of Vengeance is a little note about how hard it was for him to write a story that has a lot to do about your relationship with your father when his father had passed away.
I did not know that.
I didn't know until I read the book, but he is a masterful writer and it's gonna be one of my favorite series. I think this one will get 5 stars.
I'm excited because actually one of the problems I had with the first one was that it was so fast paced that you didn't really have time to learn as much because it was just fight scene after fight scene. I think Bobby said that the second one was a lot slower.
What?
Fires of Vengeance, where you had some time to learn a little more.
Yes, it's a lot slower.
I also like that he puts into the story a wrap up. Like there's a wrap up of the first book, but like it's part of the story.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
I thought it was a cool.
But you still felt like you needed to reread it?
Yes. But also, this is the thing, and why I don't need to reread is because I binge series. I typically wait till they're complete, binge them, and so I haven't waited this long for a sequel in a long time.
So I read it a long time ago, so I'm just wondering if I'm gonna have the same problem.
As I like as it kept going, I felt like I got it now, but at the beginning I was like,
Yeah,
okay, who is that character again?
Right.
gotcha.
How do we know him? Is he like lower or upper class? It's a 4. It's a quartet.
Mm-hmm. 2 to go.
If I can smack myself awake to read.
Well,
You
I
should
haven't
read
finished.
Read Valor
yet
this month, and I'm scared. I have so
You
many audiobooks out right now. Not listening to any of them.
Ooh. Let me know when you do Valor, because I'll read it with you. Although,
Okay.
if I read it with you, I'll read it in a day. And I'll start it the day you read it. You don't have to read it in a day.
I'm hoping I can finish it pretty quick. I don't want to like drag my feet. When are we doing Splinter King?
You said next week.
I don't care when we read it. After I got to thinking about it, I was like, heck, I can do Fitz next week too. It doesn't matter as long as it's done. I say as long as it's done by next weekend, but I'm getting the sense that the live show might get pushed. So it may not matter.
In case you didn't see, I officially canceled Backlist.
Did you? What? You didn't do that because of me, did you?
Well, Bex hasn't read it yet. You won't make it there this weekend. We won't be able to do it next weekend because of Smut Den. And like none of us enjoyed it anyways. And I was like, I really don't need an hour live show to shit on this book.
Yeah.
But I had a rant prepared.
I had a rant
Listen
prepared.
to my rant.
Well, you can send me your rant now.
Or just make a standalone video for your channel where you rant about it.
No,
I rant about it in my wrap up.
Like
Yeah, see.
Because
I'm
finished
pro
it.
rants always.
I finished
I
it the
finished
first
it in May,
day.
so it'll be May's wrap up, and I'll have probably less to care about it then.
Technically finished it in May, but I was like, I read most of it in April, so it's just going in this wrap up.
I'd already filmed it.
And I rant, a good rant, and I almost throw the book.
The ending made me want to throw it. I was listening and I was like, no, no, really?
It wasn't even done well, but that type of ending I've only liked in one book and wanted it in one book.
It's the biggest cop out I have.
Which book is it?
Sorry. Bone Chips Wake.
The Bone Chips. Oh, you actually finished it?
Yes, and I'm PO'd because I actually didn't hate this one. As a matter of fact, for the most part, I was like, okay, this is going to be a 3.5 star. And then I got to the end of it and I was like, I want to throw my phone against the wall. That is the biggest cop out ending I have ever read. There was no setup for that. It was just like, let's just make it easy because I don't want to have to write another book.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh, it made me so mad.
Yeah. The whole plot of the book I don't even know what that was. Like, it was never.
He set up the whole plot and then just threw it out the freaking window.
Sorry. What are you eating, Cass?
Crap, homemade mac and cheese.
Ooh, yummy.
Instant pot. It's
Love
really
it.
delicious. It's dinner time.
Yeah, it is dinner time.
Is that all you were eating for dinner? That sounds like a me dinner.
I had a hot dog too.
Okay.
How very 6-year-old of you.
My mom loves hot dogs.
No, Melissa, I started it last week and I have yet to pick anything up since then.
Hits the murder shows in your.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of those. It's kind of like my reading goes like this to where I read a whole shit ton and then I for like 3 or 4 days and I have to just zone out.
Well, zone out until Thursday.
Yes,
Next
that's
week.
the point. I didn't want to get bogged down and like let myself have the time so that I could have that.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm burnt out on dark romance, so let's just hope that comes back.
You don't have a choice because you're not going to read contemporary romance. So
well, no, and I started Still Beating, and I got 25% in one night and have not touched it since.
But you weren't loving Still Beating. Like, you weren't enjoying it, but you weren't loving it. So
I wasn't. It was kind of just like, you know, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I was hoping it would be.
No, don't start. I'm on chapter 4 of Heavy Crown, so I like started that, and then I remember I sent a message to Raya. I was like, "Oh my god," because of something that happens right in the beginning. She goes, "Right." She's like, "Keep reading," because it's her favorite. But then I picked up Cassidy's like book. There Are No Saints, also on Kindle, and I'm on chapter 2. So I like the first chapter, though. I'm intrigued.
Well, now I'm reading a horror that is not on my TBR and
Of course you are.
Book Lovers, which is also not on my TBR. But I got an advanced listening copy of that one, so I have to read it.
Is that
so
the
I
new
feel like-
Emily Henry?
Yeah. And it is
Contemporary
the
wouldn't like it.
easiest read ever. It's not my favorite, but it's just so easy to listen to. I'm already like 40% in the start.
Because it's contemporary romance. So
yeah. So it was mindless, and I felt like I needed a mindless.
What
Good
horror
old
are you
palate
reading?
Do what?
Palette cleanser, I think she said.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
This is not easy to read at all.
that looks thick. How big is that? Oh dear God, that looks like a Stephen King size.
727. Apparently, he is the Stephen King of the UK.
Okay, well there you go.
But it's relatively dense in the way it's written. I'm intrigued. So it's about.
What's the author?
Adam Novell. He's the same one that did Can't Get Out Alive or something like that, the Netflix show. But
Interestingly, I like chunky books, but I do not like chunky horrors or thrillers.
yeah,
Under-
that the number one bad review complaint that I've seen about this book is that it's about 150 pages too long.
With any chunky horror, there's always that complaint. For like, they don't need to be drawn out.
Just because part of the allure hinges on the anticipation, and when you drag it out for too long, you lose that pacing. So I'm interested. It starts out a guy. He's the prologue is a woman going into a house and something is crawling at her on all fours and she shoots herself.
Oh,
and that's just the first like 3 pages.
Looking at like what he's written, he looks like they're pretty creepy.
He's very popular, I think. I just have never heard of him or read anything till Olivia mentioned him. Jordaline, I think, is the one that told her to read him.
Jordaline is really good with horror recs. I am.
I got it a secondhand Jordaline rec.
That's how I get them, because my sister watches Jordaline, and then I'm like, Amber, give me horror recs. I don't like the lighting in here with this new camera.
Well, it says Last Days is kind of Blair Witch style, so that's kind of
yeah, it's about a filmmaker that's kind of like down on his luck, and a guy from a major production company contacts him and says, we want to do a documentary about this cult that started in the UK and then went to like Arizona.
You had me at cult. You had me at cult.
It's fully about a cult. But there's something more to the cult that apparently was never talked about.
Brutal Prince and Bloody Heart. I'm a total
Dawn fan.
Simp, I guess, for Dante. So
Second one so far still in air.
Dante, who on his cover looks like he's 55 when he's 30 in the book. He's 30 in the book. He
looks like he's about at least 45, if not closer to 60.
30. An appropriate normal age, like not an old man.
Well, it's an indie romance cover. What do you expect?
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
honestly, can't be worse than the Mind F covers.
Oh, those are bad. Even the Mind F bad.
12-year-old put them in Photoshop and wanted to highlight one color. Well, sorry, I don't know how to turn this dinging off.
It's from Discord, isn't it?
No, it's my group chat going off, but I don't have a ding on my freaking iMac on my MacBook. But I'm like, how do I turn this off again on my iMac now?
Is it your text messages or is it?
No, it's text
So
messages.
go to messages preferences.
I honestly have downloaded Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, and got hooked up to my YouTube and StreamYard. That's all I've done today on this thing.
Is it new?
Messages and preferences, there's a play sound you can uncheck.
My mother works for a university here, and so they sell their old computers when they get new ones. So I got it for like $150. So it's like a 2013 iMac, but like I'm not complaining for like $100.
No,
it's awesome. It's huge. It's gonna be so nice editing videos on that.
Anything. Although now I like look at it and I'm stressed because I'm like, where do I look? Like right now I can see my entire screen on my laptop. Now I'm like, where do my eyes need to go? Let's see if I can figure this out. Preferences.
And then there's like Like play
Now,
Sam.
where is
Okay.
Rye? Probably doing family stuff like a normal person.
Rye
not
is that sick kiddo again.
Oh no.
Rye always has sick kiddos, bless her. We
Dang
can't keep
kiddos.
her.
Yeah. Okay. I will see you all in 45 minutes.
Okay.
hello, friends.
Hello.
I got really sleepy during that. It's only 7:30.
You just started
up-
the bell now.
I know.
I've been up a long time.
You have been up a long time.
Are you at the delusional phase?
Almost. Because, I tried to sleep and then had that stupid nightmare, so I'm just...
Ugh.
All the clicking now.
Oh, I'm doing the percentage.
Cass, too. Cass has a mouse, so she's
Cass
clicking.
has a clicky now too.
And because it's right next to the microphone, because I'm using let's move that over there.
I thought you were talking about my mouse. Like I was calculating the percentage through my audiobook because I'm a nerd.
Oh.
Fair. How far are you?
21% into Ruin of Kings.
You hating it, liking it, indifferent to it?
I hated it in the beginning, but yesterday I was in a mood.
Fair. Oh, Rachel, by the way, so you remember that horror portal fantasy book I was telling you about?
Yeah.
The author has another series coming out, and when I was looking, his newsletter said something about if you wanted an art copy, so I clicked on the thing and looked at it, and it says if you're a fan of portal fantasy like Cradle, you might be interested in it. I don't know anything about it. I just thought if you want to.
Oh, she's intrigued.
I was like, Cradle's a portal fantasy?
I also
progressive fantasy.
Oh, I was like, okay.
I said portal, didn't I? I meant progressive.
I was also confused about Portal.
I meant progressive fantasy.
Oh, yeah. Do you like my haircut now?
Likely.
It looks good.
I do like your haircut.
I got it all. I just got it all cut off because I was like, nope, it's winter. It's summer now.
Mm-hmm. I need to go for a shortcut for summer. Not Rachel short, but short.
You mean you don't want to see your ears?
I'll go collarbone just below is normally what I do for summer.
Mel, if you want to send me the link to that, I would be.
I don't know when it comes out. I don't think it's that long. And I can send you the arc thing too because of the podcast.
Ooh. Though then I would actually have to review it for the podcast.
This is true. I don't see it yet on Amazon. Look on Goodreads.
No, they normally don't do pre-orders for indie books. They kind of just show up on the day.
You might be able to get the arc even for your Instagram, Rachel.
Yeah.
Lots of times, especially with indie authors, they want it out there.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot. I'll be like, I don't post that often, but give me a copy, please.
I'll send you the 2 links on Discord real quick.
Hey,
you can see if it's something
Shoot
you
your
sound
shot.
interested in. You may read the blurb and be like, nah, because I honestly haven't read the blurb. I just saw the progressive fantasy thing. I was like, ooh, Rachel. That was it. That's all I had.
I'll take a look. Ooh. Don't like the cover that much, but it's in.
No, and I'm almost wondering if it's a placeholder cover. Because it doesn't look like it doesn't have the title or author on it anywhere. So I'm wondering if it's like a placeholder cover.
Yeah.
Also, reminder for everyone here, go input your Realmathon books if you haven't already.
Go do it. It ends tonight. I'm so excited.
Yes. I need to go through really quickly and make sure everything's working. Because we had a couple glitches again.
Is it midnight tonight?
Midnight tonight it ends. But technically, like, whenever I wake up is when it really ends. Technically. I won't be looking.
I loved your text. I woke up and I was like, you guys are asleep, but...
Yeah, we were thinking about that earlier, and I don't think we ever decided one way or the other. I don't care.
Well, you said next week, and I'm fine with next week.
Okay, next week it is then.
I will read it whenever you tell me to read it, and I will go as slow as possible.
I've got a credit on Audible, and I liked the audiobook a lot for the first one, so I'm an audiobook it again.
I love it for like the different like gender, like the pronouns. My brain went he, like very enunciated.
I couldn't do it because I don't read, like I don't know how to read that. And so my brain was just reading it as the actual word anyway. And I didn't feel like it really changed the story that much. So I don't
No,
know.
it was just
The
like
audio.
I did enjoy it a lot, but it was just really funny because my brain saw like the accent and it's like enunciated it harder.
Yeah.
I pretty much read them the same, but then like I just always knew. Like I had it in my head for a while. I had to go back and like look. And I'm gonna have to do that again probably with this one because I don't think it actually changes the story, but it just adds to their culture, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have to go flip through because I had the memory of a goldfish.
I liked the
Me too.
first book on audio though. I found that it enhanced my reading. So I'll probably do that again.
I'm gonna need to maybe try it. See.
I'm one of those weird people that can't do. I have to do the whole series in one format and then switch and then do the whole series in another. And
I used to be that way. It used to irk me so much. But now I typically read both physically and audio. Now I have both like one book I do both ways now. So it stopped bothering me. Although like the Fires of Vengeance, the audiobook is incredible. I don't even know why I bought the physical book.
I own the physical book.
The audiobook is really good.
It's just because it's floppy and the cover's cute, but not cute, but like nice.
Well, I kept trying to get it from my library, the audiobook, and then always like when it would tell me that I had it was when I wasn't prepared to read it. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy the physical book. But then I ended up in the Audible Canadian sale. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this.
Yes.
All mine are in.
Oh, I'm gonna have to return a book because my friend listened to it on my Audible and was like, "This is terrible. Don't bother."
Oh no!
It's a 38-hour audiobook, and I'm like, "Sure, if you don't like it, I'm just gonna get rid of it." So I'm like, "I don't know what I'm gonna get now."
I hated Bone Chip so much that I'm like the third one that I'm like, do I return that audiobook? I listened to the whole fucking book, so I shouldn't. But like,
Me too.
I'm
not going
miserable.
I'm not going to, but I would be tempted.
I'm not going to either, but I wanted to because I wanted to be like, this book does not deserve my money, and I bought it physically too.
I was so mad.
I bought somebody in New York has it. I'm like, you have the first and third books. Have fun.
I was so annoyed. Rachel got my rant.
Yeah, you also got my this was. I liked that one thing that happened at page 400, and that's the only thing I liked.
Ending didn't. It ruined all of it. Ending ruined it all.
Private chat what you liked. Bobby's never reading it. If she does, I'll probably.
It's fine. It's the baby thing.
Why would I read it considering you guys just talk shit about it the whole time?
Egg.
Well, one word that doesn't even spoil anything.
You liked that?
No, the baby thing. I thought it was a good character moment.
Hashtag.
I hated it.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a good character moment.
I felt I felt like everything I knew about the Galame leading up to things was changed.
No, not that one. The human baby moment.
Cass is now confused.
Oh, I was thinking the other way. Okay.
Why did we say egg?
I thought you meant I thought you meant the Galame one.
No, the human baby moment.
There were lots of babies.
The suicide? Because I like
that one. I thought it was a good. But I didn't want to say that on live because
blank.
I
guess the only thing people like about this book is the atmosphere because that's all it has.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Also, I liked Mel's point about Mies. That was really funny.
I need your rant, Mel. I need you to send it to me.
Yes, do a rant.
Take pictures on our private chat, Mel, and just send it to Cass.
Yeah, screenshot it.
I give you permission to take my comments from the private chat.
Okay. I was so mad.
Yeah, that whole thing with the Galame, I felt like everything I had been told and knew about the character was changed and came out of nowhere, and it pissed me off.
I was so mad. We had the whole moment with the Courser in book 2, but they're never like brought up again.
Mm-hmm. Right? They like just are left in the dust.
There's a lot of comments, Rachel.
I know. This is why you're doing it and not me.
I'm ready for it.
I feel like this was even like a half rant too.
We give Cass something entertaining to read.
Mm-hmm,
See, I can't rant at you guys from the live show, so
It was canceled.
I know. I watched.
Yeah.
Rachel stalks us. She knows what we do.
No, I was talking to my dad before while you guys stopped, so I didn't want to stop talking to my father while.
This is fair.
I'm surprised you canceled it, to be honest.
By the time we'd get to doing it, it'd be like the third week of May, and like none of us enjoyed it enough that
Yeah.
Not worth it.
honestly, not a lot of people even read it because no one enjoyed it. So,
Well, I bought Ninth Reign, so it better be good.
oh my god, I'm so nervous. I was saying to Mela, I was like, the problem is I
Yeah.
keep picking series that I haven't heard a lot about.
Do you know anything about Ninth Reign?
No, nothing.
Hey, I read the first.
Liked it.
I think
That's
I
all I
got my
know.
bookmark in it. I'll tell you how much I read, and then I stopped because I went into a slump. But I was really liking it.
Okay, that's good. I was like, I know nothing. I
There's
just keep
something in
clicking.
it that I think you'll find interesting. Okay, so I read the first chapter in the prologue. I read 20 pages, and there's already something that's happening where I'm like, ooh, this makes it really interesting and goes in a direction I didn't know it was going.
That's what's going to win. Like,
Oh
you know,
yeah, I could
no
call it right
contest.
now. I was gonna call it early on the live show, but I literally can call it right now that it won. It has double the amount of votes, if not triple. So
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I'll buy it real quick.
I got it for $1 on KU. I'm not
It's
Yeah.
$4 for me, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
I bought it on Kindle.
no.
And then I'll probably, if I like them, I'll probably buy the US because, well, Bobby, show me yours. Is it floppy? No, is it a stiff? No, like, is
No,
it
that's
floppy?
that has to be the UK version though.
Is it floppy?
Yeah, because they don't have a US version. You can't get
I know, that's
buy it
why
on
I'm
Amazon. It's
asking.
this version.
But
That's why
that's why I'm asking.
it's
Yeah.
really hard to get right now because they just
You
announced
can't
US
get it in
copies.
the US. So is it floppy enough that I can stand to read it in the because usually the UK versions are really stiff. Okay, cool. Well then depository
Like
here.
it's not bad. Like, I mean, this is like the middle. I mean, it doesn't stay super floppy because it's small. I mean, it's a short book, but it's floppy enough.
I think
But it's
that
not like
they're
the stiff.
No,
doing
it's
the
not
same
super stiff. I
cover.
mean, you can
Yeah, it's
hold
the
it
same
open. You don't
cover.
have to break the spine. Like I'm holding it like this, and the spine's not breaking. So
Okay, cool.
It's
So
floppy
it's
enough.
not like the Elderlings books that are super stiff.
Who's publishing it in the US?
no, but I got Ninth Reign, I believe, through Book Depository, and you can get it through Amazon. I have them
You
on
can't
my
now.
wish
You
list.
can't
and I
now.
got it a couple
No.
years ago.
You
The-
can't.
Somebody bought the US rights to
Yeah.
so you
So
can't
they
sell it in
pulled
the US.
so I have to pre-order it or buy it off Book
Headline,
Depository.
Rachel.
Yeah,
What?
because it's indie,
Headline.
indie UK published.
But yeah, somebody bought it here. So now even like before where you said we could order it, we apparently were ordering the UK version.
Oh,
And since they bought the rights, they had to pull it, and now you can't get it at all in the US.
Very recently bought the rights too. Like it was
Like within the last
6
couple
months ago.
days.
Yeah.
yeah, because I bought this well over a year ago,
Mhm.
I think. Yeah,
Headline is a UK
sometime in
publisher.
2021.
Which
Off
Um,
of Amazon,
which
it was only
Dresden
like
I need.
$10. It's indie pubbed.
Should I buy all three? No, I shouldn't because
wait till we read the first one.
well, I was going to for shipping purposes, but I don't have to because Big Depository is free shipping. So
Judging by the first 20 pages, I think I'm gonna like it. Okay. Well, 20 pages, like if I say anything, that's not spoilers, right?
No.
It has major sci-fi / vampire / Kings of the Wild vibes.
Ooh,
Interesting.
intrigued.
So these race of people that have always helped anytime these invaders attack, which they sound like alien invaders attack, they're vampiric. So they would suck or eat the life force from these creatures. And there's this big living tree that they used to suck the life force from, but it died. So now they're killing people. So it's vampires. And they've lived for like hundreds of years, but they don't call them vampires. It's very interesting. And so there's, parts of the land are dying and there's wars. And so you meet this one guy who's kind of shamed, but he's got some kind of like twisted backstory. So it sounds really good. It's like
Sounds nothing like the synopsis I gave for it, but it sounds better than my synopsis.
Right. And because when I picked it up, I was like, well, this is pretty vague. And like in the first 20 pages, you haven't met the eccentric explorer, just Tourmaline. That's all you've met. And there's
Again, this is because it's not technically released here,
Mhm.
and it will be in January.
and
we're
see,
talking-
I bought it off of Amazon here, I believe. And
But
it's
that's going to be the
version.
UK edition that you have. Look on the back. Does it say pounds on the back, or all the quotations, like all the dialogue in one quotation instead of
Yep,
two?
it's UK.
Do you guys get the Canadian dollar on your books?
Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna say we get the US dollar, so I was wondering.
Yes.
Same
I
as-
was because it's more expensive than
That's
the.
how you can tell
Yeah.
that this was a UK book, because even though I bought it, in the back is like the US dollar. All of the dialogue is the one quotation instead of two, so it's a UK.
We're talking about Ninth Reign, the Winnowing Flame trilogy. It's the next book club pick for Backlist. We read it in June.
It
I
has
think
been
it's
purchased.
rather popular in the UK.
It
Mhm.
is. It was very
Well-
popular. It's indie pub too. Old
With
trilogy.
Broken Binding. It's their sub for June. I
Yeah.
know a couple people were not impressed with me picking it.
See, and I heard about
Alright.
this from Elliot Brooks. She read the whole trilogy and
Only
absolutely loved
person
it.
I've heard talk about it.
Only person. And so
Yeah.
I'm scared. I'm like, I need
That's
to
why I
stop
bought the book,
picking
because
these
she loved
series
it.
that are underrated.
I like underrated ones. Sometimes
You
you
want me to
find
go ahead and read it and then tell you if it sucks and you can change it?
I like underrated series too, which is why I keep picking them. But then there's a big chance that we might
Ooh,
hate them the
I
way we
know.
did Tie Child.
Rachel reads really, really fast. Rachel, read it and tell us if it sucks. We need to change it.
See,
Yeah,
then,
it's
I
not
can't,
that long.
then I can't like enjoy reading it with everyone. I have to be the one being like,
Not
Fine.
honestly.
Only
Don't be
532
big.
pages. You can do it in what, a day? Easy.
I'm just
I
kidding.
enjoyed hating Tie Child with everyone. So
that was fun.
it's half the fun is like you never know if it's gonna be a good pick or a bad pick.
And I think it's fun if you've read the book and everybody else hasn't, and they go, "Oh my god!" and you're like, "Mm-hmm," and you can comment as they go.
Who's the host again?
For
4 of us, right?
That one's
It's
Brooklyn.
all the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's me.
It depends if Ro can make it to the live shows or not, because I think I can only do Sundays, and I don't think Ro can do Sundays. But
What
we're
time
gonna
Sundays?
just see.
We didn't decide on like a general time frame on Sundays. We're just gonna wing that, right?
We're just winging it.
Okay.
I will be in the comments either hating it or loving it.
I hope we love it. I hope it's weird, but in a good way.
Me too.
Like different enough that it's something you don't usually read, but not hate it weird because it's just
Like
weird.
I think Powder Mage, it's very kind of generic because it's military,
Mhm.
but it's not like weird. But I liked it because it was fun.
I've heard it described as like very Sanderson-esque, like in the writing style and the type of world building.
He's a student of Sanderson, so yes.
So I'll be reading that unless Cassidy tells me that it'll be another pick at some point and I can't read it.
Let me know because I want everybody to read it again.
Okay.
The
other one that you were thinking of choosing, Cassidy, would have beat it anyway.
it's got a
I
cover.
realized
got a
though it's
cover.
not done, so I couldn't have picked it anyways.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
excited.
Which one is that one?
I
Has
was
a
thinking
cover.
about doing the Dandelion Dynasty, but the last book comes out this year.
Bobby, why are you having an existential crisis over there?
Because it's been pushed back 6 months. That pisses me off.
What?
The new Grady Hendrix. It's supposed to
Really?
be out in July, and now Amazon says release January 17th, 2023.
Jeez.
Oh.
Finally got a cover though.
Let me see the cover.
I was excited for that one.
Why
I haven't read it.
everything that keeps happening is really annoying. Oh, I did see that cover. Yeah.
But
I haven't read a good
he
Grady
releases
Hendrix
a
yet.
book like every summer, so that I'm pissed.
Yeah, because he's kind of a summer horror like author.
Mhm,
I feel like his books are very
Better
niche.
than Riley
summer
Sager.
slasher type
I'm
vibes.
very excited for the Riley Sager book, though. Can't lie.
Me too. Although I've seen some
guys.
like 3 stars coming out.
It's,
Okay,
I assume.
I can order the UK version of the sequels to Ninth Reign for $18 UK edition right now on my Amazon.
They pulled the
let
first
me-
one that's coming.
They pulled
It
the
let
first
me
one
do
though.
it for a bit, and then it switched to pre-order.
I think it's just some people's are like different time zones are a little behind the others because Deb in California's had switched before yours and mine did, Bobby.
Well, yeah, because it still shows that I can.
I also think it depends if there's independent people
Selling it.
selling them, because you can
Correct,
sell through
yeah.
BookTube, but you can sell through Amazon, but not be like an official
Book
seller.
Repository can sell through Amazon. A lot of the books, like the UK editions of the Elderlings you can buy on Amazon, but they ship through Book Depository.
Yeah, well, because
Okay.
Book Depository is Amazon owns Book Depository.
Oh, I didn't
Yep.
know that.
So I can order book 2, but book 3 says not until January.
That's
So-
so weird.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't do the broken binding sub, but it was so expensive.
I feel the
So a
same
lot of
way.
people didn't.
But I also don't like the first Law trilogy. I know, popular opinion, but
I haven't
That
tried it.
surprises me, since you're a character-driven reader.
yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't. There's a trope that I don't like, and I'm bored of now.
Fair enough. I'm still
Very, very
excited to
fair.
read it at some point.
I have to decide on after this what books we're gonna do.
You have 4 months. You get a little time.
Yeah, but I need to tell you if you can read Powdered Page or not.
Oh yeah. Knowing me, it's going to take me a little while. So
Most people that replied want something more popular, but like I don't know if I can do it.
I got a.
that's
It's a
fine.
popular author, but it's an unpopular series of theirs in the
I
private.
feel like everybody though does like. There's so many book clubs that do the popular stuff that why not do something different? You know,
And like
introduce people to different stuff.
I typically binge the popular stuff, so like I know
Right.
a couple of people have asked me to do Jade City, which there was a lot of Jade City read-alongs this year. But I'm just gonna binge that in like a week anyways. So same with John Gwynn. A lot of people asked for John Gwynn.
You're like, yeah, I already done that.
I'm like, yeah, you can't do that because I need to read those in a weekend.
And the other series isn't finished yet.
Oh, interesting.
Some
You could
people
do,
ask for the middle series, which is a duology, but you have to have read Malice, I think, before. So
It's not a duology;
What
it's a
if
trilogy.
you
it's a trilogy.
Yes, a trilogy.
Oh my gosh,
What if you did some of David Douglish's backlist? He's got a ton of backlist.
he does.
No, Thunder.
Also, people ask for other Robin Hobb, so like her other trilogy.
Oh,
They're
or
not very
whatever.
good.
Soldier Son.
Oh, that's literally what you said.
Yeah, it's
Do you
not
like
as-
them, Rachel?
I really like the first book. It was set in a military school, so the whole premise is he's the second son, so he goes into the military. And it's kind of like American West type thing.
Cool. I haven't decided. I think it'll depend on my mood whether I do another vote or if I just choose.
If you want lists, I have many books.
Not that. I'm hoping just things will pop out to me. Like, pretty much after I picked Bone Chips, I knew I wanted Ninth Reign on this list.
Yeah.
But I kind of thought doing a vote would help people not attack isn't the right word, but like attack me about the book choice. It did help. The people who don't want it still message you and or complain about it. I'm already reading it.
Oh, are you? When are you reading it?
This
month?
like Mark Lawrence's Book of Ice.
No, Black Prism.
I was just replying to this comment.
No, Black Prism is huge. I started that, got about 200
I
pages,
heard
slumped.
only bad things about it though.
Black Prism.
I
Book of
liked
Ice.
him. He loved him. I know Reagan from I can't lost her channel name, but Reagan enjoyed him.
Peruse Projects.
Yeah, thank you.
I knew, yeah.
What the Brent Weeks?
Yeah.
I hated his annual trilogy. I hated it so much.
I didn't like the first one. It was tried to do too much romance and it was dumb.
It was so boring.
I think the reasoning why I know a lot of people don't like the Light Prism series won't bother me, but I think it'll make a lot of people DNF the series.
I know what you're talking about and I don't care.
I don't care about that one, but I heard
care.
the ending was bad, which I do care about.
That's fair.
I have not heard that.
We're gonna figure it out.
Cassidy, I put another trilogy that not many people have heard of.
I don't even know what that one is.
I don't
I
either.
gifted one copy to Mel. It's Empire's Measuring Dicks.
Oh, that one! You just have to say that.
Is it complete?
Yes, the third book just came out.
Oh. Yeah, do that. I have that. That sounds cool.
Technically, if we like Ninth Reign, Jen Williams has a lot of books, I'm pretty sure. But I've just never heard of any of them.
Mm-mm. Measuring. You just said that.
Listen, I don't know how I made this series Empires Measuring Dicks, but
You didn't monetize these sprints, did you?
Yes,
Oh.
I did.
Yay. Okay, good.
sorry.
Because
I thought about that.
scheduled 3 sprints yesterday. Well, 3 live shows yesterday, and I monetized them all.
Okay,
Cancel
you know how long it took me to figure out what the other one was because I did not look at Patreon. I was like, 3. There's only 2. I think she's lost her mind.
No, Patreon sprints too.
I know. I figured that out.
When are Patreon
It took you saying that to Steph earlier for me to go back and look at the app and go, oh, there it is.
I really thought about changing them for Steph, but I think I have stuff to do in the evening, so it won't work.
Yeah.
But okay, should we sprint again? I don't know how long we've been talking for. Probably a long time.
A long time.
I should actually read Blade of Faith.
My mother texted me to put her laundry in because she doesn't want to come downstairs
A mood.
and be on camera. So, okay, I will see you all in 45 minutes.
No.
Hello.
I realized that all of your mods are either here or in bed. So I was like, oh crap, I gotta go get that.
Want to say hi? Oh, hi.
That always happens.
This
Hi.
may not stay creepy, but I had to put it down because it got too creepy.
Oh.
And it's dark, and there are doors that are half open in my house, and it's freaking me out.
I read 100 pages of The Bladed Faith.
Are you
And?
liking it?
Do you want me to lie?
Yes, please lie.
Great.
Oh no!
Rachel, what I have learned about you and I though is sometimes you won't like a book for reasons that I might like it, and then we will like you know what I mean? Because I know Aaron loved it. So I have
Rage of Dragons did it better.
Did Aaron love it? Because last time I checked, Aaron hadn't read it yet. Was expecting to love it.
I saw several things on Twitter that while she was reading it that said she was doing it so slowly because she didn't want it to end.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I don't know. I just think Rage of Dragons did it better.
Interesting. Oh no, I'm gonna read them
so
both
excited.
this month.
I'm
Honestly,
so
though,
excited.
Rage of Dragons is iconic and it is great, and it's hard to compare a book to Rage of Dragons.
It's just like vengeance, killing, and using that to do your thing. Also, there was an annoying thing where they were doing exercises for sword training, and the main character kept asking me, "How many do I do?" And the trainer was like, "For you or for me?" I was like, "Bitch, tell him." And then that happened like 4 or 5 times. I'm like, I get that you're strong. I don't care at this point. Also, I would be sarcastic and be like, yeah, for you. That's why I'm asking.
What did you give Rage of Dragons, Rachel?
5 stars, I think.
Okay. I gave it a 4-star. I liked it a lot, but I felt like it was too much battle scenes and not enough of other things mixed in.
I think maybe it was a 4 stars because Tao was very one dimensioned in the first one, but in the second one he has more.
Yeah, that's why I'm really excited for the second one. I think it'll correct a lot of the things that made it a 4-star.
I think it was a 5-star because I love the narrator so much.
I also gave it 4 stars, but I would say my 4 stars is probably a Mel 5-star on it.
I don't know. I'm pretty hard to get 5 stars from fantasy.
Yes,
I
with
like-
Rage of Dragons.
I will say I'm only 100 pages in, so it could change.
I read the first chapter of Bladed Faith and absolutely adored it, so I'm still excited.
Yeah, no,
Cool.
I could also just be being picky, which is entirely possible.
I remember loving Rage of Dragons like premise and setup and writing. I just wanted less sword fighting and more world building.
So it's not Rage of Dragons. It's just they did it the
Revenge
vengeance
story.
and
I liked that though. I liked that.
no, I'm
My
saying
favorite part
Sorry,
of
go ahead.
Rage of Dragons is the whole battle and all of the battle scenes and all of that.
I liked the battle scenes. Don't get me wrong. I thought they were really, really good. It's just I didn't want 700 pages of one big battle scene. I needed a little bit more like world building in it, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted more battle scenes.
I like the battle.
But
I
you'll
really
like this one better then, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to. It's not Rage of Dragons. It has very different premise, but it's the fact that he's training for vengeance and he's being consumed by this vengeance.
I think I like it.
That's such a common plot thing, though, plot device.
I don't know. I just haven't. I might just not like vengeance because I get bored.
I still want to read it.
I'm
still hopeful.
I could also just be being picky.
Fires of Vengeance is more plot driven and a lot slower paced.
You deserve every bit of your opinion. I've just learned that you were slightly more character driven than I am. A little bit. So, but that helps though, because then if you're like, well, I like this and this, but I don't like this, then it'll kind of help decide. So it's good.
Yeah, like I think you guys would like a Dagger and the Coin, but I also think you wouldn't because it's slow.
I can handle slow. It just I don't know.
Robin
I'm
Hobb is
weird.
slow.
That's why I don't read Robin Hobb. Too slow.
Robin Hobb is
No,
great.
she's great. She's great.
I
like
can
a
tell
lot
that
of
her
slow.
writing is amazing, but I can't do the pacing.
There's one thing that Robin Hobb does occasionally that drives me up the wall, though.
What?
I'm barely paying attention.
And it mostly, I guess I really only noticed it in the Rainwilds trilogy or quartet or whatever that was. She had one character that was there purely for you to absolutely hate and despise. And she's so good at character writing that you do hate and despise him. But he was so one-dimensional that he almost didn't fit with the rest of the characters because they had such good development and he was purely there as a plot device. And she doesn't normally do that. And I kind of wanted to throw it. But she writes characters that will make you hate them so much that you almost can't enjoy the book because you hate those characters so much. Wow.
Well, with the Dagger and the Coin, it's more character driven, but there's also a good corruption arc. Well,
is that the Daniel Abram?
Yes, that is. The first book
Look
is.
At me knowing things.
Listen, I know series names, and sometimes I forget people don't know the series name.
I didn't look at the.
I never pay attention to series names.
It's a political and financial intrigue book. Sorry.
I would say a 7 right now, but the problem is out of all of the reviews that I've read for this book, the number one complaint is that it's really, really slow. So I'm wondering if we'll have a lot of creepiness up front and then kind of slog for a while. So I'll let you know.
Also, I saw this and I was kind of confused, which, like, I know what main character you mean, but, like, which POV of the main character?
Like, he's annoying brat and a kid.
He is, but it's on purpose.
Yeah, I'm like, he's a kid. But I'm scared that I'm going to hate the second book.
The holier than thou part of him is very relevant.
I did not find him annoying.
What are you doing?
I didn't find him annoying. I found him
pretentious.
My finger, okay.
Maybe? I don't know. He didn't bother me.
He's a teenager doing stupid things.
I feel like that's a lot of teenage boys in fantasy, though.
I know
that's teenage boys in general.
True.
Somebody told him not to do this thing, and somebody literally drugged him so he wouldn't do that thing.
Oh, of course he's got to do the thing.
I would do the thing.
You got to
drug
do the
me
thing.
Not to do the thing. Now I need to
I
do
got
the
to
thing.
do the thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's
why did you drug me? I must do it now.
Logic.
Any teenager ever not to do something, they're a far way to get them to do it.
Like,
yeah, but it works on Cassidy too, and I'm no longer a teenager.
Bribed with the sex and the drugs.
Whatever works.
And a good life.
Yep.
I'm nervous for book 2 because I know, Cassidy, you really liked it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Becca hated it. And I'm like...
I'm also scared.
I think that you have to go into book 2 knowing what it is to like it.
Which one?
Name of All Things. You get a new character. You're from a whole new 2 different POVs and a new narrator. So you're thrown into all of that, and it's the same. What's happening in book 2 happens at the same point as book 1, and so a lot of people think it was just useless information. But I think you have to enjoy that story.
I think that's what
Becca said. Is it the same gimmick in the way that it's written, though? Because I think that will bother me a little bit.
I didn't think so, but I enjoy the female POVs better in the Chorus of Dragons series. I almost gave the 3rd book 3 stars.
Well, no, I mean like the way that it's told in the same point of view from 2 different people. The plot device that you used there is that the same plot device for the narration of book 2. Because it worked in book 1, but if you try to do the exact same thing again, it's just going to sound gimmicky, I'm afraid.
It's not Talon. It's without spoiling anything.
I don't want to spoil anybody.
Our main character is being told a story, like sitting down for coffee, being told a story by 2 different people, and they're just swapping each chapter. They're swapping what part of the story they're telling.
Okay.
I don't like gimmicks really, and that does sound a little bit gimmicky.
this was my favorite part of book 1, and I think that if you didn't like that writing style, and it's a gimmick, the whole writing style is literally a gimmick.
I liked that part of book 1.
Then
I
you
just
won't like it.
don't want her to use that in every single book as a easy
It's in every
plot
single book.
device. Because at some point it just kind of becomes, I don't know.
I kind of just want it to converge and tell a story. But
I liked it in book 1, so I guess it just depends on how it's done in book 2.
They switch a little bit when you get to book 3. It's more current. But the whole reason for it is that it's a book being written.
Yeah.
And
You know
being
what
set
bothered
somewhere.
me? I'm going to put it in the private chat because I don't really think it's a spoiler, but
oh, I was like, can I look at it? I'm like 20% in.
I don't think it's really a spoiler.
And my son does tons of stupid stuff. I enjoy the third one as much, besides the ending. The ending was 5 stars, so I gave the book 4 stars, but most of the third book was 3 stars in my opinion. But most people who liked the first one really enjoyed the third one more. But I don't. I find John Lyon's male characters all run together in my head. They all sound the exact same.
Yeah, honestly, I'll see. You know, I'll just read it and find out. If I don't like it, I don't like it.
This bothers a lot of people, Mel, but you had to do that for the mystery of the book.
Maybe so, but it still logically did not make sense.
Because she didn't want you to know when she was someone else's body snatch.
I know, but it's still annoying.
No, it made sense.
No,
Okay.
because I think we're talking about 2 different things. In like some points, it wouldn't have, like, in some points it would have made sense to be third person. In some points, it was directly talking about that particular character with that name.
But you always had to do it third person or always the other way. I would have hated it if they
I know, but still, it was just like, if you're gonna tell it from, I don't know, just like,
you will hate. There is a character in the second one that also.
I mean, I got used to it and I got over it and I stopped thinking about it. But when it first happened, I was like,
so many of the complaints talk about that, but I think it was the only logical sense, or else you would know when she body snatched someone.
You know, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, and I'm 20%
You're not far enough in.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
So my brain doesn't work like that.
There were points of not body snatching, though.
Yeah,
these spots were nothing like who were in Mel Sprints.
No, those were horrible. Cassie, did you see those that were in my sprints the other day?
That's when she was at the hockey game.
I was drunk.
You were at the hockey game, and they were like calling people by name. It was like actual people saying "show your boobs" and everything else in comments.
Trolls.
And every time you would block one, they would just make another account and do it again.
I don't think they were actually bots. I think they were real people.
They were because like
people.
They all had different names, and it was like, but they were only addressing Mel because she was the one running sprints, and so it's her name on there. It's like, you know, saying stuff like "spread your cheeks" and like just it was like, whoa.
Something about spread your dog's cheeks. It was bad.
Yeah.
Mel, you might hate the next one.
I don't think I'll hate it. Nothing that I have said so far that annoyed me was enough to like deter my enjoyment. It was just like a
but I think it will deter your enjoyment in the next one because it's like, oh, this she's doing it all again.
Which is something Becca didn't like about it.
See, and I'm scared to read the first one.
My thing is, like, I have a tendency to complain about things that I don't like in books, but they're not enough to deter my enjoyment of it. So it makes it sound like I hate it, but I really didn't.
I did the literal same thing when I was complaining to you about Mind F the entire time. I was like, this is irking me, but it doesn't actually ruin my enjoyment.
Exactly. So anything that I have said about Ruin of Kings did not have any bearing on my enjoyment. It was just one of those like, Murph.
But what you private chatted, I watched reviews afterwards. And
so I'm not alone.
A lot of people hated it because of that, but
I didn't hate it because of that. It was just one of those things that was like, and then I ignored it and kept going.
I don't think I could read this book physically. I don't think this book is accessible for me.
I think I could have never done it just physical. I had to do both, and then eventually I switched to audio.
Oh wow! Somebody said the audiobook made it worse for them. I did it solely on audio. I read
Solely.
the first 2 chapters with both, and then completely audio after that.
I
I
didn't want to buy it because I'm cheap.
Yeah.
So sorry.
did.
I have gotten all of them secondhand, and it's great. Hardcovers, fantastic.
I enjoyed the book more when I did it both, because I've done just audio too, and I realized that I wasn't enjoying those parts as much. But it's so confusing without the audiobook because like I had to break, and when you're doing both, the audiobook narrator will stop at better parts for the
Yes.
other narrator than it does physically. So sometimes it'd be confusing because I'd like be reading and skip to the footnote.
Yeah.
But the audiobook narrator knew that that wasn't the best spot to stop. I would keep going and then stop later.
That's part of the reason I love the audios, because footnotes are hard for me. I detach, like I don't break at a good spot, and that was a great part of the audiobook.
They don't have notations in the text on when you should read the footnote.
They do, but it's still not a very good spot.
But the audiobook narrator put them better.
Or I would like miss there was supposed to be a footnote, and I would read halfway down the paragraph and then realize there was a footnote and then have to go back up and find it. It's really annoying.
I will say I read what is it? Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Mm-hmm.
I only liked the footnotes because I watched the TV show, so the footnotes were fun for me because I was learning more about the world. Didn't care about the book as much because it was just like, I'm bored, this is very dry.
That book is a monster. I have it somewhere. I don't know where.
Watch the TV show, then read the footnotes. Easier.
Read the footnotes. I have Piranesi, and I've tried to read Piranesi 3 times. Liked it well enough every time and never wanted to go back and read it and just kind of left it alone.
Piranesi sounds not fun.
Your face immediately went, It's a new stank face. It's like,
every time someone talks about that book, I'm like, why? Why?
It's interesting-ish, but considering I have stopped reading it 4 times, that tells you exactly how ish we're talking.
DNF.
Well, I have. I mean,
okay.
Multiple times.
I was watching Christie's Sprints, and they were talking about some contemporary romance, and I'm just like, or somebody talking about Heartstopper. I'm like, good for you, but
yeah.
Heartstopper is one of those I didn't hate, but I don't understand the hype. Like, it's just not the book for me.
It's the same.
I'm glad you're happy, but I'm also no.
I'm glad people got their representation and are loving it, but it's not a book for me.
Yeah,
right.
Is how I feel about it.
Same.
Because I'm.
And again, I like Children's Time, so we might have different tastes.
A little bit.
Yeah, Children's Time I could not do.
Do you think I could read Children's Time?
No.
I don't know. Do you like reading stereo instructions?
No.
It's not very character driven, and it's very slow and dry, and literally it's like reading an instruction manual. It's so detached that you
and it pisses me off because the concept is so cool.
Yeah, it is. But most of the like chapters, especially with the spiders, are literally like you're reading somebody's notes on a scientific experiment, and they're narrating things that are happening in a scientific journal, and that is what you're reading.
I do that for a living. No.
Yeah, it's that dry.
I am a scientist. I don't need that again.
Yeah. It's that dry. And I got 250 pages in, Cassidy, before I DNF'd it. 300
far.
Why'd you go that far? Jesus.
I was planning to be there for the live show and thought it will get better. I just need to keep going. It's going to get better, and it never did.
I have friends who read it and absolutely loved it. I read the first page physically, put it down, was like, nah. Read 30% through audiobook and was like, nah. No. I still own it though, so I should probably unhaul it.
I unhauled it. It went on Pingo and it's gone now.
I want to read his fantasy series with the bee on it.
Yes. I've heard the Shards of Earth series is good.
I owned that one. I owned the other sci-fi series by him, the first book, but I do want the fantasy one.
The writing style, despite saying it's extremely dry, the actual writing style I enjoyed. It was the delivery of said writing style that I didn't like.
Yep.
Okay. Before I decide whether I'm going to sprint or chat more, are you getting off, you two? Yes. Okay, we're going to chat a little bit more then.
Right.
Yes. Yes, I'm good to chat a little bit more, but I'm not good for another 45 minutes sprint.
I can go mainly because I haven't been waking up stupid, or I haven't been waking up at Bobby hours.
I don't
This
want
is
to read
fair.
about bumps and slamming doors and scratching paws when I'm about to go to bed.
This is fair.
Oh,
How in
God.
the world did Gavin do that for 2 days? Like, I'd have died. And I'm
Alone in a cabin, I could never.
I had
Couldn't even do it not alone.
Yeah.
I had terrible nightmares last night. Like
Ooh.
Even something in the water.
uh,
Everybody was cranky yesterday, too.
I'm
Like, I
always
thought that my
cranky.
doc was gonna, the doc I was working with yesterday, he was in the room right behind me and he walked in, and about 30 seconds after he walks in, he's loud as a general rule. I hear his voice go from like a normal tone to jumping up like 3 octaves, and he's like, "Man, if you cannot stop with the confrontation, I'm gonna have to leave this room." And I was like,
What? What happened?
she had not been seen in like 3 years and called and chewed out our nurse because she wanted to know about this diagnosis that was given to her in 2013 that she was never told about. And she hadn't been seen in 2 years. And so finally the nurse was like, "Okay, fine, we'll put you back on." Apparently she got really rude, hung up on her. Then when he went in to talk to her about it, she got furious. She wanted to see the NAV note. She was like, "Well, I need to talk to this nurse." And he was like, "Ma'am, she's pregnant and on maternity leave. Like, you cannot talk to
Yeah.
her." She got mad wanting her to come into the office to talk to her.
What?
She's on freaking maternity leave. Like, no.
Oh my
Wow.
lord.
Some patients are just
But this diagnosis was like, what, 9 years ago? Why are you freaking out about it now?
that was his point. He was like, "I don't even understand why this is a question, much less why we're being this confrontational about it."
That does not make sense.
Yeah, like yesterday,
It was a little bit comical how frustrated he managed to get. 'Cause I was like, "Dude, you have to rein it in."
I had to, yeah. I was at our subcontracting office yesterday, and I had to sit so many awkward meetings, and everyone wanted to be confrontational, and I'm just like, I'm
There
not
was something
here.
in the water yesterday. There had to have been.
Also, so I'm in a cube farm right now, and every time somebody walks by my cubicle, and the entire like desk shakes.
But that sounds miserable.
Yeah,
But you get to work from home most of the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, I go in because they want to see that we exist, because they don't trust that we do work at home.
Fair enough. A lot of people don't.
So I kind of just go there half a day and then I leave. It's like, unless I have meetings.
Cassidy, are you still working on the thing?
I was gonna tell you before you go to bed to go look at them.
Are they on the usual place?
Yeah. They are.
There's so many secrets.
But are we gonna do both?
That's a great question. How do I look at the other side?
Bottom. Oh, I need to switch the color of the one.
Yeah.
But
one thing that I find funny.
Because if we're doing both, it's kind of annoying that you can't get them together.
You can't? Oh, that is annoying.
So, without giving anything away, shipping is a lot.
Could we do one on one and one on the other? I'll text you.
Oh, like the other site?
Yes.
We could. I think the other site you can order, we could do it so that you could get both.
Was this the thing
then
earlier?
Do one thing that we want to do on the one and the both on the other, and that way you've got, well, that'll detract from.
We could also just release them different times.
Yeah.
And different colors. We're not giving away a lot of things.
I thought we were talking about the other thing that we were talking about in.
Oh, yeah, that was funny too.
I figured it out.
Yes, Bobby is the smart one.
She sounds like my crazy sister-in-law.
How on the screen for so long? How did you just?
Yes,
I was
wasn't paying
looking in a
attention.
different tab. I was in the other tab. Couldn't see it. This was coming off the dude that admitted he was slinging coke and then wanted his narcotics. So
What?
I'm dead serious.
Wow.
This is why I can't get my Adderall.
I'm dead serious.
Oh, Cass,
And
I
he was
love
like,
that.
You don't care about cancer pain.
There's
Doctor.
another
The
one.
doctor
coming.
was like, I care about cancer pain, but you literally just told me you were slinging coke on the street. Like, I can't put my name on that, dude.
Yeah, the second one's me.
Working on it.
Also, go look at colors.
Yeah. One of
I
them
only
is
put really brown.
yeah, I would say there's one that's so you it's not even funny.
I'm like all excited.
Thanks, Jennifer. We're just being secretive.
I'm not even looking.
Sorry, we've done a lot of talking on these sprints and not a lot of
Sprinting, right?
We just need to shut off those sprints now so we can all talk backstage.
Right.
I'm honestly not opposed to ending because I have it to do still.
I have
Just end
slept 2 hours and 24, so
Okay, you know what? I
More
think we're
than-
gonna call this a day. Thanks for joining. Because I have Patreon sprints tomorrow, and then might be back in the evening. Who knows?
Steph is doing sprints in the morning.
Yeah, Steph has public final book support group sprints.
Mhm.
Mhm.
There's lots of
You
sprints happening.
can
More
rewatch.
tomorrow.
You can rewatch Jade's and Steph's sprints from yesterday today.
Those are Patreon.
Yeah, if you.
There's all the sprints.
All the sprints. Bye bye.